Welcome everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail, and we are back once again with another CRPG classic game, in this case, Icewind Dale 2, which did not get an enhanced edition because the source code was lost, and so Beamdog wasn't able to get this one enhanced like they've been able to do with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, the first Icewind Dale, the Neverwinter Nights games, and so on and so forth. That being said, I still think it's totally worth playing, even if you have some weird issues with resolution. You'll notice that I'm not full screen here because of that. We don't have, UI that automatically will update, so on and so forth. So there are some quirks, but it's still worth sinking your teeth into. We're going to be doing a series of gameplay videos and guides around this game, starting with our first episode in the character creation series, which is going to be, as we get going here, a new game, select a party, and of course, we have to get into the classes of the game, and then we'll get into the races and so on and so forth. But one of the things that's very interesting about the Icewind Dale 2 experience is that you get right out of the gate a variety of party members that you can choose from. And we're going to be talking about this in a future video. Today's video is about the races of Icewind Dale 2. So we're actually going to be diving into those, and then we'll talk about these class groups, these party groups, when we go to do the class video, which will be coming up next time. So in the meantime, let's click New Party, click Done. We actually want to create a character from scratch. And we're going to be getting in here, and doesn't really matter. Gender is just for looks. Now, what's really interesting about this is whereas the Baldur's Gate games and the first Icewind Dale game were set in second edition Dungeons and Dragons, this game is in that weird bubble of third edition. So this was between second edition and 3.5, both of those being very, very popular. Third edition was kind of like a hiccup in terms of Dungeons and Dragons. So when we get in here and get into character creation and races and stuff, you're going to see some stuff that you're not used to seeing, whether you're coming from second edition or fifth edition or third and 3.5 edition. I'm just going to grab something here so that we can get going here. Now let's get into the racial selections here. So some of the lore is going to be the same as what you've seen before, but unlike the first games where you couldn't specialize into all these different subs, you can now get into the subspecies of humans. So humans are the predominant race in Faerun, ruling most of the significant empires and kingdoms of the Forgotten Realms. They are the most social and tolerant of the races, except for perhaps the halflings. So we get a very similar description to what we've seen in the previous games because it's Forgotten Realms after all. But the pros and cons are different here because now we have favorite class any, and we get advantage, which doesn't exist in second edition. So it says 1 extra feat at first level, 2 extra skill points at first level, 1 extra skill point per level after first, and you have a breakdown between the Aasimar or the Tiefling. And the Aasimar being those who carry the blood of the Celestials, the begotten offspring from the unit of a mortal and a deity, typically good aligned in fighting against the evil of the world. They have +2 wisdom, +2 charisma. They get 5 points for acid, cold, and electrical resistance, can do Sunscorch once per day, and have dark vision. And their disadvantage is that they have a level adjustment +1. They are slightly more powerful and gain levels at a rate of about 1 level behind that of the common races, so they level more slowly. Tieflings are similar to that, but their appearance is often human. They have telltale signs of a lie their ancestry, hint of diabolical in their bloodlines. +2 intelligence, +2 dex, +2 to bluff and hide, blindness once per day. However, disadvantage -2 charisma, and again, level adjustment. They are slightly more powerful and gain levels at a rate of about 1 level behind that of common races. So you would want to keep that in mind if you're doing one of those subspecies. Then we get into the dwarves, and we have your. Well, hang on. Let's go back to dwarves. Um, it's the same description here, but they get a +2 to Constitution, stone cutting, +2 racial bonus on search checks to notice unusual stonework such as sliding walls, secret doors, stonework, traps, and new construction. +2 racial bonus to saving throws against poison, +3 against spells and spell-like effects, +4 dodge bonus against giants. That's awesome. +1 racial bonus to attack rolls against orcs and goblinoids. Dark vision, but -2 charisma. But then we get, well, what's the difference between? Well, that was Shield Dwarf, sorry. Then you have Gold Dwarf. Gold Dwarves received a divine gift from Moradin the Soul Forger, granted the Thunder Blessing upon his people, resulting in a slow growth of Gold Dwarf population. They are reestablishing themselves as shrewd traders and proud of somewhat haughty warriors. +2 con. It looks like those are all the same, actually. Ooh, Grey Dwarves get -4 charisma. They have light sensitivity. The Dwergai suffer a -2 circumstance penalty to attack rolls, saves, and checks in bright light, and are more powerful and gain levels at a rate of about 2 levels behind that of the other common races of Faerun. Very interesting. Then we get into elves, and you have moon elves, +2 dex, plus saves against enchantment, sorry. Bonus to search checks, immunity to sleep, proficient with long swords, but not with crossbows and bows. Negative con. The drow, oh yeah. +2 dex, +2 intelligence, +2 charisma, +2 saves versus enchantment, +2 will saves, +2 search checks. Spell resistance of 11 plus character level, immunity to sleep, proficiency with those weapons, fairy fire 3 times dark advantage. They have a lot of pros. However, -2 constitution, blindness to the light, and they are at a rate of about 2 levels behind the other common races of Faerun. Not to mention, there's gonna be racism against your drow. Then there's wild elves, who are kind of like wood elves, I guess. Also called green elves here. It says their skin tends to be dark brown and their hair ranges from black to light brown, lightning to silver with age. +2 dex, +2 to search checks, +2 against enhancement magic, immunity to sleep, and -2 intelligence. Hang on. We get into the gnomes. You have rock gnomes. That's cool. +2 con, +1 bonus versus kobolds, goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears. +4 dodge bonus against giants. -2 strength. Deep gnomes, also known as Sifrifneblin, secretive and mysterious. They live in constant fear of slavery or destruction at the hands of dark elves, mind flayers, and Dwergar. Deep gnomes are legendary for their ability to handle stones and gems. They have brown or gray skin and gray or white hair. +2 dex, +2 wisdom. Oh, a whole bunch of cool stuff. 4 plus dodgers to all creatures. Mirror image once per day. Invisibility once per day. Blur once per day. Non-detection. 2 racial bonus to all saving throws. Stone cutting. Hide check bonus. Dark vision. But they have -4 charisma, -2 strength, and they have a level adjustment of 3. Gain a levels at a rate of about 3 levels behind that of other common races. Half elves. Mixed of human and elven blood, and they don't have any subs, so favorite class any, +1 to search checks, +2 against enchantment magic, immune to sleep. Half orcs, similarly, are just straight up half orcs. +2 strength, dark vision, -2 intelligence, -2 charisma. And now we get into the halflings. Oh yeah, now we have different versions of halflings in this game. So the Lightfoot halfling are known for their incredible luck and their love of travel. Tend to be more gregarious than even their strongheart kin. +2 dex, +2 move silently, +1 on all saving throws, +2 morale bonus on saving throws against fear, +1 to hit with thrown weapons, -2 strength. Strongheart halflings are those who surprise those more familiar with their wandering Lightfoot cousins and with their confident and readily competitive nature. +2 dex, +2 move silently, +2 morale. Are those the same bonuses? Nope. They get a extra feat at first level versus the +1 to hit with thrown weapons. Strongheart's pretty cool. Getting an extra feat is pretty powerful. Then there's Ghostwise halflings. These are the feral, reclusive cousins of Lightfoots and Strongheart, found most often in the southern forests of the realms, living in small communities. Rarely seen in large cities, they occasionally are let out to explore the world for reasons unknown only to them. Visitors to their settlements often report that the halflings have kinship so tight that they're fellows that they can communicate without speaking. Favorite class barbarian? I'll be damned. Advantages: +2 to dex, +2 to move silently, +1 to hit with thrown weapons, +2 morale bonus. Disadvantages: -2 strength. So there you have it, everybody. We have our basic race options here in Icewind Dale 2. This again is based off of 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons, which is the gap between 2nd edition and 3.5. So it's kind of a hiccup along the way to 3.5. I don't know if they're ever going to do. I know there's some people out there who have modded their own version of the enhanced edition, but until there's an actual port, which I don't think they ever will because they lost the source code, this is as good as it's going to get. I do think it's worth getting back into. I'll be doing a review on it later on as we get deeper into this series. So stick around for that. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update as I continue to cover Icewind Dale 2 and other CRPGs, MMORPGs, RPGs, and beyond. I will be doing some playthroughs of this game and doing a whole series dedicated to the races, the classes, the actual gameplay series. Going through here talking about some of the meta of this game and why I think it's worth playing in 2023. So if that all sounds good to you, make sure you follow along. Support if you can. Memberships are the easiest way here on YouTube. You can also do over at the Patreon page on premieres and live streams. Don't forget super chats and stickers, and after the fact, super thanks. You can pick your own amount, or you can use the pre-programmed amounts here on YouTube. $5, $50, $500, whatever you can afford. Keeps me doing this full time. Thanks to those of you who do support. And I will see everybody in the next video for Icewind Dale 2 or whatever it is that you tune into next. Until then, stay safe, everybody.